that glazed donut look, you know?
Yes.
Wake up.
Post, huh?
Post.
Hi, this post show. It's Dudes Like Us, and we were talking about the Bengals' Hazy Shade of Winter song. The producer had that playing in the headphones while we walked in, and it's got pictures of the movie from Less Than Zero, so we're kind of, I was kind of reminiscent about the movie. Both Paul and Jeff had not seen it. Shocked.
No, never seen
Shocked.
it.
Yeah.
So I started,
I don't know why. Maybe it was... I don't even know what year it came out. Was it the late 80s?
85.
I wonder if it was rated R and I wasn't old enough to go see it. My parents were not going to take me to go see it.
Yeah.
Could be it.
Or maybe.
And I
I
just
don't
never
know.
went. And
Hey,
back
maybe-
then, you have to wait till it came out on video and rent it. And my parents weren't going to rent it. They weren't
Right.
interested in it.
So the whole story is just basically talks about addiction, and it kills somebody's best friend, you know. And it's got all the I don't know their names. I always forget their names. I can learn it and then I forget it comes in. One
So
ear
what
and
does
out
she
the
look
other.
like today? What's
Which
her name?
one?
Suzanne Hoff was
Hoffa?
shockingly
Oh, from the Bengals.
cute.
Monday.
Today?
No,
Even today.
back then. Well, maybe he's pulling up a picture of her now, but man, she was cute.
Susanna Hoff is.
I don't even know how old she is. Oh yeah, look at that.
She's cute, man. She's
Yeah.
still a rock star.
Yeah, she's still
And,
got it going on. Look at her.
Yeah, and I don't know.
How old is she? Go back and see how old she is.
Yeah, see, she's born in 59.
Wow.
Wow, that's,
She's 10 years older than I am.
Oh,
So she's 63.
63, yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Good for her. She's still doing stuff, huh?
I guess. I don't know.
yeah, as probably a session player or something. I mean, you know, I guess when you make a big hit like that and you get rich and you marry and you know, I don't know.
Well, Prince wrote,
Yeah, he wrote Manic Monday.
their hits, and Simon and Garfunkel did Lazy Hazy.
But they had other songs too. I mean, they had some
Walk
hits.
Like an Egyptian.
Hazy Shade of Winter. I'm sorry. Was that? No, Hazy
Egyptian?
Shade of is
Yeah.
it Hazy Shade? Yeah, Hazy Shade of Winter was from
Right.
another
Simon and
singer.
Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah. There was another person that did Hazy Shade of Winter. I want to say Bruce
Hornsby.
something. No,
Springsteen?
it wasn't Bruce Springsteen or Hornsby. It was Bruce, some no name. Oh,
Bruce.
Anyways,
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so you realize this is the last podcast of August 2022.
That's why the booze is flowing.
yeah, I'm not. I'm looking forward to the change of the season. You know, I really am. I'm kind of being burnt out on the hot weather. I mean, this past week we had a torrential downpour of 15 inches in Dallas. I mean, historic, 100 years, 15 inches.
Yeah, it's crazy. We didn't get anywhere near that in Frisco.
I mean,
No, we didn't. But we got a
yeah.
lot. We didn't get 15 inches. But did you see where Greg Abbott says this is a once in a century storm, and all the libs jumped on and go, and he didn't even acknowledge climate change.
He didn't even acknowledge climate change. That son of a
He just called it the century.
that wheelchair
once in a century
bastard.
Why do they just?
I don't know.
Bitch
They hate
and
him.
moan.
They hate
Yeah.
him. They hate him.
They-
And they hate anybody that is not on board with, centralizing power to change the entire world to fight climate change.
I have
psycho.
talked to a lot of people, and I try to stay in the middle of the road when I've had these conversations with them, and they talk about Greg Abbott, and they're kind of like, "Oh, I wouldn't get upset if he fell down a flight of stairs," and I'm like, "Really?" And
Well,
I'm
first
just
of all,
like,
he's in a wheelchair.
"Yeah, well, there's
Right.
there's that, but it's just like
He's already paralyzed.
I don't get the anger
else
of
do
these
you
people. What did he do that was so bad? I mean, are they blaming Urquhart's fuck up
No, it's
on
abortion.
him? I mean, is it abortion?
People
Well,
are very.
I don't think
militant.
actually they know. I think they're
Well,
jumping on a ignorant
Yes,
bandwagon.
Yeah, I think it
absolutely
is.
True. Absolutely
Yes.
true. I went to a happy hour with some friends, and one of the guys there unloaded on DeSantis and said, "Yeah, he's the next dictator." I was like, "Oh my god."
Did you correct him?
No, I didn't say a word. I was like, "Let's move on. We're not talking about politics." I was just like, "Really?" He
'Cause I would totally
he called
crush
DeSantis
you.
a dictator. I was like, "What the fuck? Do you even know what a dictator is?"
Well, it's just like we're all.
shut up.
Well, it's just like now we're all semi-fascist.
Right. Oh, they just throw that word around like they don't even.
And what does that mean?
They don't have a clue what that word
means. If you're,
Well, no, semi-fascist. What is that? That's a new term they've come up with.
it seems to be synonymous with MAGA, MAGA. You know,
Oh,
MAGA.
it's anybody
country.
that they hate is a fascist.
Yeah.
Period.
They have no clue what it is.
Well, Biden just slammed basically half the U.S. basically saying MAGA are a bunch of semi-fascists.
Right.
And they're evil and violent.
Right. President Biden, the leader of our
he just said this past week.
Yeah, I was reading a story about how Ozzy Osbourne and his wife Sharon Osbourne have decided to leave their home of Beverly Hills for I don't know how many years, 20, 30 years, and decide to go back to Great Britain because they just can't. They can't handle. Ozzy Osbourne was saying they just can't handle. He can't handle all the gun violence and just people killing each other and just how awful it is. And I mean, keep in mind they're in California, which is even worse, right? But Sharon said an interesting thing. She goes, "There's nothing united about it anymore. We're leaving the United States of America because there's nothing united about it anymore." And she's dead on. We are so ununited. We're so
everything's polarized. Everything's political. Everything's polarized.
Just grossly.
But it's really
divided.
One side, at least in my opinion, that's doing this.
That's the Democrats.
No, it's both. It is both.
Actually,
you know
both. What? It's.
But I look at us.
It's the media.
It's the
somebody,
media is a big part of it.
But who's pushing the buttons in the media?
Well, it's they're all
big
in
dark
charge.
Secret, right?
Well, it's the folks.
I mean,
at the top who push the agenda.
When you have 100 television stations that are all reciting the same statement, whatever it is.
They've all synced it up,
and they splice them. It's like what was it? A manufacturer conflict or manufacturer conflict. It's the same thing.
Oh,
and
they just regurgitate the same talking points. And they're like, how do they get them? They get them through email.
That's my point.
There's an email blast.
Something happens.
I think so.
Bongino talks about that. He goes. I've subscribed. I don't know which one of this. He goes. I've subscribed to one, and it's the talking points. And I see those talking points that day on all the news.
Yeah, it's just so pathetic. It's so pathetic how they just they're parrots.
Yeah,
they're just
these people
parrots.
don't even know what being a fascist is. If there, I don't know if
what is
hierarchy,
the actual definition? Let's look up the actual definition of what a fascist is.
Okay, well,
so that we can
Mr.
at
Producer.
least be educated.
The meaning of fascism is a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts nation and often race above the individual. That exalts nation and often race above the individual.
Which means it's the exact opposite.
Yeah. So
what they're claiming?
Well, Nazis were fascists.
So what are the 5 main ideas of fascism? So common themes among fascist movements include nationalism, including racial nationalism, hierarchy and elitism, militarism, masculinity, and quasi-religion. Other aspects of fascism, such as the myth of decadence and anti egalitarianism and totalitarianism. Oh my God, I can't say totalitarianism.
Yes, I hate that word.
Can be seen to originate from these ideas. So, did you guys get what I said?
Yes.
So yeah, it's the German Nazi Party. That's
that's why they try to keep.
There's an Italian fascist party. And there's also the Spanish nationalists.
That's why they keep trying to equate us with the Nazis.
So here's another way to it says characterized by dictatorial.
You just like saying dick.
Leader, centralized autocracy, militarism. Forcible. Here's the key: forcible suppression of opposition.
Well, that's what they're doing now.
Yeah, which side is forcibly oppressing?
They want to do their ministry of truth.
It's just so crazy. They are way more, in my opinion, way more fascist than the right is here.
Yeah, the right wants less.
Less government.
Yeah, they want less of everything.
They want decentralized government. They want more individual rights, which is the exact opposite of fascism.
It doesn't make sense. And if they're talking about MAGA supporters, I mean, that is Trump's feather in his cap is, less government, cut the spending. That's the whole thing. That's the whole premise. That's why we're alive, is to spend less money and spend the money on ourselves. Work hard and reap the benefits of your fruits of labor.
Right.
You know, if you can't reap the benefits because you're giving it to the government, then what's the sense of living? I mean,
well, that's when you get into communism, right? That's why Russia's so depressed.
You're
just a cog.
Cog, yeah.
Well, and think about it. What is required to push through all of these rules for climate change?
Hold on. Jeff, in the last podcast, he talked with a list for a second.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember.
I'll make sure I edit that out.
Yeah.
No, you can't. It was epic.
You son of a bitch. He probably will.
No, but seriously, I mean, for them to push through all the tenets of their agenda, right? Climate change. What else? What are the big pieces of their platform? Climate change.
What, a fascist platform?
No. From the left.
Open borders.
Open borders. Okay.
Abortions for everyone at any point in time.
Yep. So all those things, if you think about it, all those things for all 50 states to subscribe to all the heavy regulations to support climate change, all 50 states to allow, pro-choice and have no abortion restrictions whatsoever, all 50 states to have, rules. What was the third one that we talked about? Oh, open borders, right? Open borders. For that to happen, they have to have a strong, super strong, all-powerful central government to dictate that kind of mandate.
Sure.
And we're not just talking about
and that's what they're doing currently.
And we're not talking about just the United States.
They're trying to build it.
They want global.
They want global.
Ultimately. But,
globalism.
that's what you said. You nailed it. They're trying to build a powerhouse.
Yes.
That's why they want our money. They want the money of the citizens. And that is why they're going after the IRS and building them up and hiring a gazillion.
87,000.
A gazillion. Now, granted, this says that, they're going to hire that many within, I think, 2031 or something like that. There's a time frame in which that's to happen. But why on the planet, or why in the hell are they buying so many bullets? I don't get why the IRS are knocking on.
Well, because if you're going to weapon
these people's doors, who are the people that don't use electricity and
Amish.
Yeah, the Amish people. These Amish people have a farm, okay? And this is a story that came out a week ago, a couple days ago. And there's a farm. They were like imposing some restrictions within the community, and they're like, well, these IRS folks went in there and says, well, you got to stop production. It's like, why? We're not, we're self. We
self-sustaining.
We don't need anything. We're not using electricity. We're doing fine. They said you got to stop, and then they went ahead and charged them like a crazy like $300,000, and so now it's basically shut their whole place down.
Right.
And I don't know the story on it, so it kind of sucks. But it's just the power of the IRS is ridiculous.
Yeah.
To shut down and for what?
So I saw some headline where there's an Amish farmer who was not following USDA guidelines.
But they weren't selling to anybody. It's within their community. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Well,
if
it's a state thing, you need to follow these guidelines, and they're not exempt from it.
Well, I mean, if they're selling it,
right,
and for consumers, but if I go out and I want to go suck on a cow teat and get the milk, I mean, that's on me.
That's not USDA approved.
I
don't know. I just saw the headline, so I don't know. I don't know what the theory was. Maybe he was selling it to the community.
I'm having a. It is as absurd as Colorado outlawing harvesting rainwater. In Colorado, it's illegal to harvest rainwater. Did you know that?
No. So I got my rain catcher in the back. Those are illegal.
What's the premise behind it? Do you know?
Well, it's over 100-year-old law. And
in the middle of a drought, and people were trying to catch it all, so it wouldn't fill
perhaps,
the streams.
I don't know. Maybe there was one tree out there. They're like, that son of a bitch has a barrel right underneath a big fig plant that I want that. I don't know. But the thing is, it's a 100-year-old law, and they're still enforcing it. It's like you're not allowed to have more than 120 gallon of storage on your property for rainwater. And I'm like, who the fuck is anybody to tell me I can't harvest rainwater on my own property?
I guess the premise is
you
that
could slob a knobby-wobby.
They need the runoff
into the ground.
That's
water.
exactly what it is.
into the
It's the
aquifers.
Correct.
Well,
or into the rivers.
Well, the spirit of it had something to do with your neighbors. So they didn't want you harvesting the water and preventing your neighbors from being able to get it.
Right.
You know,
or you're collecting it as it falls. They
Yeah.
can collect it as it falls as well.
Yeah, you're influencing the natural path of stormwater.
Whatever.
Interesting.
It's coming off my roof.
Fuck them. That's what I got.
Yeah.
You know, it's just frustrating. You know, the control that some of these governmental entities have. And you know what? This is nothing. I mean, on one hand, it's frustrating. On the other hand, we should be thankful. You know, and I know it's kind of crazy, but when you think about other countries like China, you know, where that you've got people where China puts out a mandate and they don't allow anybody to come out of their house. Well, guess what? We've just created a quarantine, and you got your.
Well, Australia did the same thing. Not just China.
I still can't believe Australia did that.
Yeah, they locked
They
it
went
down.
full blown authoritarian. Here we go.
Authoritarian. You couldn't leave your
Crazy.
house, and if you did, they would hunt you down. And I don't know if they'd arrest you, but you'd be taken back home.
Yeah,
probably ticketed.
There was a guy that was walking home from work, and he crossed a park, and in the park by himself with nobody around, took his mask down, and somebody reported him. And by the time he got to his apartment, the police were waiting for him. And there's literally a video of them grabbing him and pulling him out of his apartment while his mom is screaming.
That is ridiculous.
Because somebody reported that he took his mask down while he was walking through the park.
Like, do you have proof that I've done this?
I mean, it's just it's insane. That's insane. I mean, that is the definition of.
Yeah, I imagine they've lightened up. I haven't seen anything in a while that they're still quite as stringent, but.
And what's interesting to me is Aussies, for the most part, are they were pretty brash people.
In the Osbournes?
Yeah. Huh? The
Osbourne.
Aussies.
The Aussies.
Yeah, the Aussies.
And Harriet.
The Osbournes.
Oh, stop. No, but they're brash. They're brash people. You know what I mean? They're usually outspoken and they're very proud of. You know what I mean?
That's no knife.
Right.
Yes.
That's no
you
knife.
mean the Aussies as in Australia?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were like the Aussies, like Ozzy Osbourne. I was like, he's going back to that. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so, I mean, and there was a lot of unrest. There was some unrest down there. And I'm sure the media didn't cover it all that much. But I'm surprised they didn't freak out more than they did.
Well, they did. There were riots.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the media never covered like how serious it was, I think. But,
yeah, I'm going to have to investigate to see what it's like there still, if they're still requiring vaccines. Just like, you saw now that
Canada was bad too.
Djokovic, right?
Yeah, won't let him play in the U.S. Open
because he's not vaccinated.
They won't let him because he's not vaccinated. However, they're letting people pour in from the south border.
Oh no, there's no one walking across the border. Yes, they are walking across the border. Did you see that footage?
We see videos of it every day.
Well, no, the where Peter Ducey was questioning Jean-Pierre Raulot. And
I'm sorry,
I don't know what her last name is.
Yeah, she's apparently a fool.
And he asked her, why can't he come here and play when we have thousands of illegal migrants walking across the border that are unvaccinated, or we don't know what's going on with them? They could be carrying some other disease. And she basically said, they're not walking across.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, they are walking across. And she didn't have a comeback.
Right.
She went on to kind of talk about something else with the
Wow.
vaccine.
It's just unbelievable.
Well, Peter, you believe in your alternative facts, and we're going to have the real ones up here.
She said that, didn't she?
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm going to go down to my woman.
She's not very good at what she does.
Oh no, she's horrible.
Yeah.
She's horrible. Even the left, even the leftist reporters are getting frustrated with her.
Yeah, she's not very good.
So I think the IRS thing, in my opinion, I mean, Democrats have always been buy votes by spending, right? Buy votes by spending. Just sink this, and Democrat, I mean, Republicans too, to some degree, but they've always had a social platform of spend, tax and spend, right? Tax and spend.
Right.
So I think the 87,000, they're just looking at the numbers, and they're like, if we could get all the people that don't pay their taxes, or should that pay pay what they should be paying, right? We could squeeze out this much more money in the budget.
Well, they want to look at your bank and track every payment or amount that's over $600.
That's what I'm saying. So they're trying to
every $600. So if I Venmo you $602, they'd be like, we need to know about that.
And see, and to do that, they probably calculated that they need 87,000 more IRS agents to go after all of those people that should be paying more in taxes.
Well, it's going to be
the
small
premise
businesses.
of it is not to cut down spending; it's to continue the spending, to continue to get the votes and make people happy.
It's a revenue maker.
It's a revenue, and it brings up the revenue to match their spending.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think
that's all it is.
These agents are going to be going after the small business folks who paying some people under the table.
Right.
Well, we need to go back and get all that, all those taxes.
Right. And now they're flooding. If you think about it, they're flooding the nation with illegal immigrants, and at some point they're going to make them legal, but they all get paid cash, and none of that stuff gets taxed.
Right.
But they're going to try to make them semi-legal, but they also want to make sure that money gets taxed. So we're going to need more IRS agents. So in every facet of needing more money from the populace, that's why they're going in that direction.
Right. Mr. Producer has a video going on up here about making your homemade beer.
Yes.
You guys ever tried that?
No.
I've done it.
No,
and
I've had some friends that do it.
It's.
I know Rob does. Rob's been on the podcast. He does his own beer.
It could be rewarding.
He actually he did pretty good beer.
Yeah,
he does, and he continues to do it. Yeah, he makes
it could be rewarding, but it's a lot of work. And I did it about 4 or 5 times, and I had maybe 2 batches turn out that were drinkable, because it's
an art form.
Well, it is, and you have to be extremely clean.
Oh yeah, you said that. You said that the kids would come tromping through the kitchen, and their smegma somehow would get into the taste
of the little bit of bacteria gets in there, and it makes it all funky flavor, right?
Right.
So you're disinfecting everything. You have the special sanitizer. All my tools were sanitized, and 10-year-old comes blasting through, just exuding just juice of some sort, gets on your spoon,
just gyrates.
Yeah, and you're just like. I was in the kitchen, so I wasn't in like a separate room or anything like that. So it was tough, but it is rewarding. And I see this video and I'm like, maybe I'd like to try it again. But it's like, no, I'll just spend $6-7 to go buy a beer.
I would love. They sell these $300 distill, pot stills.
Right. I'd like to try that too.
I would love to distill.
Pass. I'll just buy the bottle.
Whiskey or something just for.
We don't have time.
Fun. Just for fun.
Well, you got to age it for 10 years. Be a good
you only have to age. Well, the one in. Remember, we can flash.
Well, that's right. Or to teabag it.
We can teabag it.
To dip your scrot in it.
Well, no, I don't want to do that.
Oh, that's not teabagging it.
It's scrotalicious.
No, they flash. Would they say it? They flash age it, or they flash?
Now, when they open this up, they're like, they tried it. They're like, that's really good. Or they're like, yeah, this is a gimmick, and we're going to try to sell as much of it as we can.
Correct. It's not good at all, and we have to give it some sort of color and some sort of flavor, but we want to make money now.
Right.
So let's just, let's do that.
We have this really harsh moonshine to still it.
It was horrible.
Well, we get this really harsh Noah's Mill that we kicked off on the second half of the podcast. We were talking about in the first half how we were going to start a new program, and we're going to take notes, and I'm assuming that's what you got written there.
I didn't write anything down.
No.
Paul was going to take notes because he's got a pad of paper. Right
no.
No, I don't think I was supposed to take
notes. I thought you had a pad of paper.
No. All right. So the Noah's okay. The point is that we were going to buy a really nice bottle of bourbon every single week because forever, last 2 years almost, we've been buying 3 bottles a week and just stocking up the inventory that we've got. And we're getting to the point where we've basically bought all the bourbon.
There's still a lot out there.
Yeah, there's still a lot out there, but we've bought a lot of the bourbon that we want. And so the next step is to start getting higher priced bourbons. And so in order to do that, we're basically going to combine our money. So instead of buying three $30 to $80 bottles each, we're buying, $100 to $200 bottles each, for all three of us together. And so the new plan is to sample a bourbon for the first half and a bourbon and an older bourbon for the second half, or vice versa. But the point is that we got these big old infinity bottles, and we need to start filling them. And the only way to start refilling them is to start dwindling down the inventory to where we could take the leftovers. And so we are
and then we need
almost
to
there.
drink that.
Oh yeah,
which is each one's what, 4 gallons?
I don't know. Is it? Is it a 2-gallon jug?
I don't know. They're big. I don't know if it's 4 gallons. I think it's a gallon jug.
I think it's a
But
gallon
still,
jug too.
it's a gallon of booze,
Yeah,
it's a
so
lot.
and you have 4 of them in there.
yeah. Well, I mean, it was a bundle, so I bought them. But
Yeah,
I mean, but another big part of this is we have, over 180, 190 bourbons, and it's hard to remember. Like, people always ask, like, well, which ones are the good ones, right? And which ones, all that kind of stuff. Would you have a?
and we have a handful that we always go back to.
Yes,
because,
but
Yeah.
just a handful,
right.
and we know there's other ones in there that
Yeah.
are like
Like
you
the
know,
Penelopes.
So-
the Penelopes are really good.
like,
Yeah.
so what the plan is now is on the quote unquote second round with our new program that we've got set up
All right,
is
I got
that we've
notes.
got this is Noah's Mill. So Noah's Mill is a very weeded bourbon, and
It's weeded.
yes, it's weeded as in like over 45%
I
wheat.
think I knew that.
So it's a step. It's not as much wheat as like 9 Banded, but it's like 9 Banded has 51% corn, and this one doesn't have quite. Actually, what does it have? Does it say?
I don't know if it's on there.
Um,
I don't think I remember it being weeded.
oh, it's definitely weeded.
I don't know.
That's why
don't
I
remember.
fagged out
See,
on it.
that's the whole point. It's like we have so many bourbons now that we're forgetting.
Well, we've gone through 2 or 3 bottles at Noah's Mill.
Yeah,
Right.
It's well because we enjoy it. Whenever I come over here and I'll come down, I'll come up here and I'll be like, I'll go back, grab the bottle of Noah's Mill and I'll go back downstairs. Jeff, we're turning the corner now. Squeal, squeal.
Wow, I don't
He
think
does like a double shot of it.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've been here when you guys squeal like
That's
pigs.
because it's a tier 3 party.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here.
right. Yeah, I don't do tier 3.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
have our boats and
Yeah.
pontoons.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we do enjoy Noah's
slip
Mill,
and
so
slides.
that's why I completely gravitated that on the first poll of our this. We'll call this the Infinity Bottle Tour. The second half will be sponsored by the Infinity Bottle Tour,
There
and this
you go.
tour brings us through Noah's Mill.
Noah's Mill.
That's our first one out of the gate.
Yeah, so
All right,
the
so-
Infinity Bottle Tour brings us to Noah's Mill. First one out of the gate, and it's a 114.7 proof. I'm sorry, 114.3 proof, and it is a weeded one from memory. My eyes are too fucked up to see what it actually says, but if Mr. Producer, can you pull up Noah's Mill, see if it has a
It's good. It's
It
good.
smells really good.
It does
The nose
have
is really
it does
good.
have a bite all the way through, right? There is a bite.
which is odd because this bottle's been open for a while.
Yeah, it's been opened and it's going to change, right? So all these bottles that we may have been meh about may be better
Maybe
now.
different. Maybe
It's got a
different
nice
now.
taste to it.
Oh, it's got a great taste. But like I said, it does have a bite all the way through, from taste to finish.
Yeah.
But
Well-
it's got a great taste to it, and it's not overwhelming. Even though it burns, it's not overwhelming.
See if it has the mash bill on there. Do you see it anywhere?
I mean, considering the proof,
It's 114.3.
It could be hotter.
It's got to be really close to there.
So is it? It's not real peppery. It's not that kind of bite.
No.
No.
It's got something else to it. I don't
Well,
know if
see,
it's
that's what
It's
it
sharp.
says.
It's a cinnamon and allspice jump out of the glass, and subtle notes of vanilla, yeast, and seasoned oak make an appearance underneath. For a higher proof bourbon, the nose is not too overwhelming or unpleasant, but the youth of the bourbon is noticeably in the sharp spice notes. So, I guess they're using like a
Youth.
younger oak.
interesting. The youth of the well, no, it's how long it's been in the barrel.
Well, if you look at the palate, it says cinnamon, mint, and allspice, right? Those all have a
A bite.
tang to them,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
right? Or a spice.
It's not bad though. It's
Spiciness.
not. It's
I'm going to put spicy.
Yeah.
yeah. This one's whoever rated this one, they said 84 out of 100. I mean we would agree with that. That's why it's been a go-to multiple
Yeah.
times for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't see the mash bill on this guy.
I taste the black currant.
The currant.
Yeah. Wow, that's almost like a bad word.
Yeah.
Shut up, you currant.
Currant.
Wow. A crunt?
Was it ABR's 157 proof?
This isn't small batch, right?
It's no smell small batch. I believe it is.
I don't know where the hell the mash bill is. Well,
it says that little snippet
Okay,
there
so it
says it's
says
a blend of
undisclosed.
4 to
Undisclosed.
15-year-old whiskeys.
No age statement.
all right. Well, you
And
know
it's
what?
a blend?
For some reason, I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
it right
it's
there.
a weeded bourbon.
I didn't know it was a blend.
A blend of 4 to 15-year-old whiskeys.
All right. Well, so this is our orange peel, walnut, burnt sugar, alcohol, tobacco, oak nose.
So it's a blend.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorites. If someone were to say, "What's your favorite?" I'd probably gravitate to this. But
Interesting.
being
4 to
after saying
15
that,
years.
I hold a couple more higher than this now. I mean, I put that 107 Weller's above this one now.
That was good. I think I'd put the Eagle Rare above this too.
All right, so
Yeah.
how are we going to rate it? Because one thing I want to be done, but when we do this tour, going back through all of our bourbons, I want to make sure that we have kind of a rating
This is
system.
not for my.
All
It's not a 10. I think it's an 8.
All right, but we gotta do a. So here's the thing, like you said, I think it's better than you said. It's better than Eagle Rare, or it's comparative to Eagle Rare. It's comparative to the Weller's 107. So maybe we ought to put that as a classification. We tie that in together so that
Maybe groupings like A, B, C, D.
yeah,
This is maybe even down to F.
That's probably a good way to do
You
that.
know, hey, this is an A. Or
Yeah.
maybe we go back and revisit this and go, yeah, well, I thought this was a B, and actually it's comparable to an A now, right?
yeah.
Because
So
of what
I
we're
would say
going
it's a
through. I don't know.
solid. I'd say it's a solid B plus, or no. I'd say it's a solid A.
I'm thinking,
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you kind of want to reserve A's for like the home runs, right?
Right.
Well, A plus for the home runs, but you know what? Hey, well, you know what?
I'd give it a B plus or an A minus. I mean, that's kind of where I would be.
Yeah, I'm thinking B plus.
Let's B plus it.
I'm gonna A minus it.
So
I'm gonna
2
say
B
B
pluses, which
plus.
means yours is thrown out. So
Yours is the low one, so you get tossed.
yeah.
All right. Well, whatever. I mean, but B plus works. You know, I mean, I'm not. I mean, look. I mean, I get it. It's good. I mean, I would probably. This is my go-to. So, but is it the
B plus
best?
is-
B plus does not mean it's bad.
Oh, B
No.
plus is good. It's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
most
you know,
of the ones I buy were D minuses. So
know.
yeah,
Back
they didn't even
beat.
register. What are you
right.
talking about?
Oh, they're not even. Oh, I ain't on the list.
No,
That's
Williamsburg. Good
no,
luck.
that's a retest right there.
Well, that was a coconut.
You didn't even get to a 70, so your highest score is only going to be a 70 because you're going to retest.
A retest.
It didn't even register. It's what is it? The state board said it's under review. That's what I keep reviewing
Just
about my
disqualified.
license.
Yeah, that was a DQ.
DQ.
Anywho, so Noah's Mill at the Infinity Bottle Tour, we've graded the Noah's Mill as a B plus, and I'm happy to do that. So
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And I guess the other thing we should note, and I know it probably goes without saying, that none of what we're doing here are mixers. Not one of them.
yeah, by mixers we're referring
Well,
to.
we
you
probably
know,
have
we
some
don't mix
mixers.
this with
We have some
Coca-Cola.
mixers out there.
Yeah.
This is not a mixer.
Yeah, this is what we like to put on with maybe some ice.
You can make a really nice old fashioned out of that.
Man, I'm on the fence about that too.
Didn't
but-
you have an old fashioned made out of this?
Oh, it was tremendous.
Well, there you go.
So I would, that's interesting. I think what we'll probably find is stuff that's lower than C, or maybe C minus and down. We call mixers. They're
Yeah,
just not.
something-
They're just not good enough to sip.
Right.
Yeah, they're
It doesn't
too,
mean they're horrible. They could be great with Sprite or
Yeah,
tonic water or
they're-
whatever you're going to drink it with.
Right.
They're probably better with that. In fact, they even say on some of the advertisements goes well with bourbon and Coke, or goes
Right.
well with Coke, goes
Right.
well with cola. I should probably say.
Cola.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
So
know.
this one
and
is
again,
definitely-
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
No,
there are ones that I have with Coke that are absolutely awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that's
But
just saying.
I
hey,
wouldn't
this,
drink. I wouldn't drink it straight.
this
Well,
is horrible.
Like Seagrams. Do you sit there and just sip Seagrams, or do you have a 7 and 7?
Right.
right.
Yeah, see, that's
that's
it. That was
okay.
popular, 7 and 7.
Yeah.
And there's nothing
know?
wrong with that.
And the more you drink it, it's kind of like, so I went from a 7-7
So I like 7
to
and 7.
a 7 in soda. I'm sorry, that's not true. 7 to a 7 press, which is 7 and soda with a lime, and then 7 with the club soda and lime, and then 7 with rocks. I mean, that's the stages of loser.
Well,
where you start to thin out the sweetness and start getting to the core.
Right.
I've tried that, and I just always go back to Coke or Cola.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't. In fact, I'm glad you're turning that corner. I'm glad. I'm hoping you continue this. And we talked about the different types of mixers that you can get, and I'm finding that I think that San Pellegrino, even though you guys are like, oh, you just like saying the word San Pellegrino because it's so, you know what? I think the small bubbles are great, and I think that if you guys don't try it, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I don't mind trying it.
Don't confuse San Pellegrino with the different flavors that they have out there, which are great.
Right.
On ice by themselves. No, not like LaCroix. Well, similar to LaCroix when it comes to what they add to it. The San Pellegrinos they're more of natural fruit flavors in there, as LaCroix is probably just some fake shit.
I'm not a fan of seltzers.
No.
Oh, I'm not either. I haven't found one that I can stomach.
I kind of like some of them.
It's too bitter for me. You like IPAs too. I don't like the bitter. Yeah. Bitter is a turnoff for me.
Well, it just depends.
One other thing I'm also noticing about the bourbons we buy, very few of them come in a half gallon. Right? They don't come in a handle. Right? So most of the stuff that you would probably say are mixers also come in a handle.
Yeah, because I think the
right. Think about that.
I think the big ones that you use as a mixer would come in a handle, right? So the Wild Turkey, the Jack Daniels,
that's right,
and they're usually less expensive for the alcoholics.
Yeah, I mean you're not going to find a handle of rare breed.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And maybe it exists. We just never seen it. Or you don't see
that'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Right. You don't see a handle of the thing we just had the first one.
That's right. So that's something to consider as well. So I think almost if it's not available in a handle, they probably intend for it to be a sipper.
Yeah.
Like McKenna.
McKenna's comes in a handle.
Comes in a handle.
Right.
Yeah. Except the 10-year, which Jeff put in his fucking
and you're not going to find
safe.
a half gallon of 10 years.
Is that still in your safe?
It is. I need to pull it out.
Yeah, no one's going to.
Well, it was our first unicorn. I was like, we need to save this. Now we got several. Now I'm going to pull it out and put it on the shelf.
Yeah, you went overboard on the first unicorn. But that's okay. That was you.
Well, Jeff and I, we for my dad's birthday party this past weekend, which unfortunately you were unable to attend, we whipped out the Heaven's Hill. Wow. We enjoyed some of that.
Did I pay for a third of that?
No,
we didn't open that. It was the.
No, we had Heaven's Hill.
Oh, okay. Heaven's Hill.
No, we did.
Right.
We did. We had.
I did not, unless you poured it without me knowing.
We did a shot because I found it on the. I found it on the island.
Okay.
Oh, so like you don't even remember?
Honestly, no. But
there were several. Party, huh?
There were several shots missing out of it, and
I remember doing it because I had the mash, the triple mash.
Yeah, we had that the Jack Daniels triple mash, which was I give that a C.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Was the party wasn't here? The party was at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you grabbed some bourbons from here and took them back to the house?
I'm just starting to accumulate.
I didn't know you were kind of building up your own little collection. That's
well,
cool.
I didn't mean to. It just happened.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he bought that triple mash on Friday.
Yeah, when we were out.
Ah, okay.
That's what it was, and it was in his house, so we tried it, and I was not impressed.
Yeah, it was. I don't even know if it was a C. Yeah. I'd say C minus.
The Bonded is much better, I think.
The Bonded is good.
Yes, the Bond is tremendous, and the fact that they went all Euro and dropped it down from 750 to a 700
and charged the same price.
And charged the same price, yeah.
But do we know? We'd have to look at the 750.
Yeah, we would. I'm just kind of assuming they're making the bottle smaller and charging the same.
Guys,
anyway, I'm excited about getting through all the bourbons.
What really grinds my gears?
What's that?
What really grinds my gears is when people pressure me. I get stressed. I work well under stress most of the time, but this past weekend
you fell apart.
You know what? I was mad at myself, and when you get mad at yourself, there's a difference when you're handling the stress being impacted on you.
Right.
But when you fuck up, and it's your fuck up, it kind of trips you up a little bit
Well,
different.
especially as something as serious as fantasy football draft.
Well, that's exactly what happened.
I mean, God, what's at stake here?
Yeah. Well, we are on 15 to 18. Hey, look, man, this league's been around 15, 18 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's competitive.
It is a long. In fact, I would be willing to bet some people will want to pay to get into this league. There was the deal. Chuckster was asking, "How do I get on the league?" And I was like, "You got $5,000."
Right.
That's probably how you're going to get in the league because nobody wants to quit.
There's somebody that's been waiting for a long, long time. You guys know him, Brian.
Yeah. Well,
he every year he asks me, "You guys have an opening yet?" Because he would love to join our league because he knows all of us. We go to concerts together, right?
Right.
So I made so we've got a 12-man league with 20-man roster, and for those fantasy football elites out there, we start a quarterback, a running back, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, a tight end, a kicker, a DL, and a DE. That's the starting lineup. So you've got to cure your own roster to be able to support that throughout the.
And it gets hard those later rounds.
Yeah.
Well, the people go fast.
The talent runs thin.
Yeah. The people go really fast.
Well, especially in 12 leagues. When you are
especially
in a 12,
when people poach quarterbacks.
Yeah, when you're in a 12 league, a 12-team league where everybody's upped their games over the years, right? In the beginning, people were drafting like really stupid stuff. So you would pick up really good players for your second or third picks because people didn't really understand kind of what they were doing. Now everybody has raised their game. And when you see the draft grades, they're all pretty much even. And the parity in the league is really good.
If you look at the lineup for this year's league's matchup, if you go to that screen, all of the talent is uniform.
That's what I'm saying.
The lowest, I'm talking about the weekly average right now. You got, I think Jeff's maybe 101, 102, something like that.
Mine's 102.7 or something like that.
And then you got Linda, who's 99.
Your projected points.
Yeah, it's projected
and then you
points,
got the Dream Crushers, which is around 99, I think.
Yeah.
So that's the lowest, that's the highest. That variance is incredibly acceptable.
It's tight.
And it is tight. So when the talent is, and look, I think I'd had a shitty ass draft this year. However, the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, your numbers are not bad.
I think my draft was terrible.
No.
Really?
I do, yeah.
But you had an A or a B plus.
Did you have an A or a B plus?
It was a B. I don't know if it was a B plus or
well,
B.
There
was very few A's and B's.
Yeah. I had an A last year, but it just did not work out.
Well, there's so many factors. We talked about injuries.
Would you see the one guy running back just got shot?
Yeah.
What?
Brian Robinson or Brian?
I remember he got drafted, and that's why I was like,
he got shot multiple times.
Yeah, in the lower body.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to live, but who knows when he's going to play football again?
Yeah,
he can't play for this whole season for sure.
I don't know. It depends how bad it is.
I wonder who drafted him.
The Ligers, I think.
I mean that's a whole new reason to lose a player, isn't it?
He gets shot.
Washington, D.C., man.
Yeah, no kidding. Unbelievable. It was a robbery. He got shot during a robbery.
Yeah. Yeah. No one's exempt from that. Doesn't matter if you're a football player or
bum
on the street.
I mean, crime is out of control, guys, and especially in dem-run cities.
Yeah, what I hate about the draft is it's very stressful because in your mind, you have your folks that you want to focus on.
Right.
And you're like, well, the first thing is I hope I get a good pick draft number-wise so I can be one of the first ones or whatever. Yes. So I can make sure there's like 2 people I really want.
Right.
Hopefully I can get one of them. I didn't get any of them. Actually, I did. But if you're later in the round, there's benefits to placement as well. Like Sean, I think, was the worst. The first 2 picks.
Yeah, well, that's not it. I got the first pick.
First one.
Being number 1 is when you're doing a serpentine draft. 1 to 10, 10, or 1 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 12, 12. 1 sucks. So you get the first pick, and then you got to wait 20.
Well, I had number 2.
I had 12.
I had something similar.
So you were at advantage.
I had 12 last year, and I hated it.
Right.
And I hated it because
I think 12 is great.
I think 12 is great too because you get, like Barry said the other day, you get 2 of the 2 of the best of the 14, or whatever it is.
No, I hated it.
No, I have loved being 11 and 12 before.
No, I hated it. 9 as I'm thinking back, wasn't bad. I was
9 is the same thing.
9 this year.
Between
no, it's not.
Between 8 and 12 is the same thing.
No, I did not like 12 last year.
Because you basically get the same. You get 2.
I disagree with the whole 12 thing.
Yeah, I mean, you get 2 of the best 13 players in the league if you draft right as number 12.
No, I disagree.
The potential.
How can you disagree with that?
Well, because everyone has who's the best. What list are you looking at compared to what list I'm looking at compared to what he's looking at? Okay. Everybody has different top 12 or 14.
I get it. Okay, but my point is, look at your own list, right? So whatever list you're working off of, you think you know who the top 13 players are in the league, you get 2 of them.
I don't look at that way, though.
You don't?
No.
Oh. Well, then you don't know what you're doing. I'm just kidding.
Apparently, because my grade was better than yours.
No, but
right.
But seriously, that's right though. I mean, if you think about it, you're getting 2 of the top
picks.
13.
Yeah, you are.
I know some people go straight down and go, okay, I'm the 9th. I'm going to take the whoever's next, regardless of position. I don't do that.
Oh, I do.
I don't do that.
I've done it for years.
I don't do that.
I pick the best available player. Now, the only time I don't do that, I mean, that's in the first several rounds. And then if I start filling in, I might skip players that, are better and have more points simply because I've got to start filling positions, right?
Yeah,
so if I've already gotten 3 of the best running backs that I can grab and 2 of the best wide receivers I can grab, then I'll skip over a bunch of running backs and wide receivers to get my quarterback. But up until that point, I am picking the best player available.
What I do is I look at, maybe it's wrong. I haven't been doing this as long as you either. I don't have the total ranking by everybody. I have top quarterback, top wide receiver, top running back.
Yeah, and I don't do that.
Like that. So I'm like, okay, for the quarterback, I want whatever. Then I go down and it's like, all right, now I look and I decide, do I want to who do I think is better? Who do I need more? Wide receiver, running back, whatever.
I get it.
Well, you got to look at the
There's
both
lots
lists.
of different strategies, yeah.
So, and I'm not very good at this, so maybe I need to readjust my tactic.
Well, you had some sort of you did readjust something. You had the whole program.
You had a better draft than most of the league. So
yeah, but you did something different this year. You used an Excel spreadsheet, and you looked at it, and you drafted it. Hey, A-, whatever the fuck, or B, or whatever it was.
Did you rank some of the players like off?
No, I downloaded a free spreadsheet. It had a shit ton of information on it.
Right.
That he didn't share.
You know what? For years and years and years, I was able to find free
he
cheat
watched
sheets.
me go spend $20 on some magazines that he had for free, and was thinking.
I was thinking, I was like, why doesn't he do this? I was thinking that.
I didn't know it was available.
You've never gone online and looked?
I looked online. It's too convoluted.
Because I will tell you, for years and years and years, I found tons of free cheat sheets. They're hard to find now. Free cheat sheets.
Yeah, I always find them.
Yeah,
they're hard to find. I would dig in for hours.
No, you don't know what you're doing then.
No, I do.
No.
Yeah, I do.
No.
And a lot of them are PPR, and you gotta weed all those out because we don't have a PPR league.
So,
I mean, a lot of them are wanting,
so what are your frustrations this year on?
There are a lot of pay ones out there that frustrates me.
What are your frustrations with your draft? You had 20 rounds. What was your big hang up? Your most frustrations, Paul?
I thought I did really well in the first 10 picks, maybe. And that's where, and then after that is where, here's the thing. I don't do enough research to know who your handcuff picks are, right? Which is the backup to your starters. In case your starter goes down, boom, you already have the backup, right? I don't spend enough time to have that research in front of me.
You're referring to the second string on the same team?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Called a handcuff pick. And also, I don't do enough research to know who the sleepers are. You got rookies on this team and rookies on that team, and then you have guys that are not the starter, but they're projected to be the starter by week 3 or 4.
Well, that's where you got to watch
I don't do enough research on that, and in those later rounds, that's where you're supposed to find those gems. You're supposed to pick up those gems.
I picked up a couple of rookie folks this time, hoping. Couple wide receivers, hoping that they turn into something.
Sure, absolutely. Like one of them was Trey Burke, the Arkansas receiver that went to the Titans.
He just got cut.
Oh, be quiet. He did not. He's the replacement for A.J. Brown.
He just got shot.
Yes.
Oh, that may be
because the 53 roster was today, isn't it?
Did you hear about the punter, the Bills punter?
Gang raped someone, didn't he?
Well,
rape allegations.
Yeah, so they called him Punt God because the guy was booting crazy punts. He got drafted in the 6th round, which is I think rare for a punter. And yeah, but it's guilty until proven innocent in this world.
Oh, he got booted.
He got booted. They cut him.
Yeah.
Simply because of that story. Because a girl from years ago claimed that he was,
really.
Claimed that he, was one of 3 people involved in a gang rape when she was, younger. And there are witnesses that say he didn't do that. And he has maintained his innocence the whole time. And I don't know if he did or didn't, but really? I mean, where is the innocent until proven guilty?
Well,
that doesn't happen today.
It doesn't.
No, unfortunately,
this guy just lost his.
If you're you put a blemish on the team that you're on, they don't want that. They don't want that type of.
They can cut you for any reason.
I know, but I mean that, And what's interesting is she's not bringing up a suit against the other 2 guys.
Well, because he's a millionaire.
That's right. Because they're not in the because then they're not in the NFL.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
Still making, it's not as much, but he's still making probably a couple $1 million a year.
He probably will.
Oh, yeah, he would have. I don't know if he was.
Well,
yet.
what about you, Jeff? What was your fuck up this year? I mean, you got a B, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I just
you
get.
didn't.
I just get frustrated.
Was your fuck up that you weren't able to score a good quarterback?
I got Tom Brady. I don't know if he's going to be good or not.
He'll be solid.
I did want Joe Burrow, but again, I didn't want to. I was going to take Josh Allen if he was there. I was going to take Joe Burrow if he was there, and then Patrick Mahomes if he was there.
Who's your backup?
My backup is Matt Ryan.
No, I've had him multiple times, and
well, there's not much. It drops off fast.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's parity in the league. People know what they're doing now. I mean,
yeah, quarterback-wise, I mean, it drops fast. And Tom Brady won the FFL for him last year for Jeff. He had Tom Brady, and he was knocking it out of the park.
It's not a bad pick at all. I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed to get, you may not get, you're not going to get 30 plus, I think, but you're going to get in the 20s.
Right.
Pretty much
I had
every
Lamar
game.
Jackson last year, and he frustrated the shit out of me.
You can't. It's so crazy. It's like I didn't want to pick Christian McCaffrey. I absolutely did not want to, but I did. And he's probably going to get hurt in game 2 and miss the whole season again.
Right.
I mean, he screwed me twice before. Yeah. And sure enough, here I am picking him again.
Or is he going to be as good as he was? Because, he's been out for, 2 years now?
Right. I know. You just don't know. You just don't know. Yeah. I almost just skipped him and was going to go to Derrick Henry. I probably should have. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, Derrick Henry was hit last year, too. And
I know.
I know they brought him back early, I think.
Too early.
And he wasn't ready.
He killed us in the playoffs.
Yeah,
especially because his backup was playing great.
He was.
Even in the game, he was playing great. Every time he touched the ball, he was rolling over people. And Henry was just going down quick.
He was.
Yeah.
So hopefully he comes back.
That was a coaching mistake.
And he's effective, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, as far as mistakes, there's always picks that I'm like, why did I pick that person?
Yeah, I had some dumb picks.
I'm just like, whatever. But
I mean, because they're dumb picks in that, why did I pick that guy? There was no way that guy was at risk. I should have done the other guy who was at risk. And then even though I was thinking in my head, I need a wide receiver next. Right? Well, the tight end that was out there ended up getting sucked up when that wide receiver I wanted was definitely going to be there.
Right.
So it's that kind of stuff where in the moment,
Then I panic, all of a sudden Sean breaks to Hyman on the defensive player.
Yeah, I don't worry about that.
I'm just like, fuck. Well, the defensive guys can get you some points.
They can. They can. And maybe that's killed me over the years, but I have never jumped on that early go get a defensive player during the draft, ever.
Well, I used to feel that way until I started noticing that linebackers would score a lot of points. But you have to get the top 2 or 3 linebackers,
right?
The top 5 linebackers to be able to get that stuff. And I thought for sure I had it, and I screwed the pooch on my draft when it came to it because.
Yeah, what frustrated you about the draft?
Well, there was the linebackers. Speaking of the linebackers, I drafted 3 by accident.
So because you pick one that you didn't know was injured. That's the other thing. If you don't do your research.
Well, no, I did my research
because I didn't. I don't.
I did research. I had the IR PUP list up, and it was on the website, and I was refreshing it, and I looked down the list, and I looked at it, I said look for LB, and there was like 6 people listed on there, and he wasn't on the list.
Yeah, that's
so
screwed,
you know
that
what?
screwed you. Yeah.
So I mean, whatever.
But he's not IR. He's just PUP.
Well, actually, he's no longer PUP.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, but my point is
physically unable to perform.
When I drafted, I picked a TJ Watt as my first LB.
Okay.
All right, and granted, he's hit or miss. He could be fantastic. He may not, but he's solid.
Yeah, he's a defensive end, right?
I didn't pick a defensive end this time. I picked 2 linebackers and 2 cornerbacks.
I always go
he's
linebacker.
an LB. He's a linebacker.
I go linebacker safety pretty much every time.
But TJ is the linebacker.
Is he?
But he lines up on the line, I think, doesn't he?
I think he's a defensive end personally.
But he's listed as an LB.
No, he's listed as a DL.
I got it right here. It says LB.
Really?
Yeah.
That site's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's Yahoo.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Anyways,
Yahoo's always wrong.
So when I got him up there, I think that's probably what it is. I think he's listed as both, because I looked at another list and I saw the opposite. And I was like, oh shit, I need to get a linebacker now. So I looked on the linebacker list and I picked up homeboy
Shaquille, right?
Shaquille Leonard, who was a scorer. I mean, he's like the best fucking linebacker in the league. And then I did the research. He wasn't on that list, and sure enough, I draft him. And then Barry's like, "Oh, he's hurt."
Yeah,
I hate that. Oh, I hate that. One of mine that I drafted. Barry goes, "Yeah, he just lost the starting role." I was like, "Fuck you." I was like, and he knows all that shit. That's why he does well.
The frustration was, I got TJ Watt. Mind you, I'm pick number 1, so I get boom, 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 boom. So it comes back to me. I get 2. So I didn't pick 2 linebackers back to back because that's retarded. So I picked a linebacker and something else. And so it's like basically I did 3 rounds picking up a linebacker, and I was so frustrated with myself because I was thinking TJ was a defensive end. And
there's a lot going on during the draft, man.
People are rushing you. Come on. It's like, dude, look, I have, 2 minutes?
I don't know. We actually don't.
I don't think there's a timer, but there's a bunch of jokes.
We don't have an official policy.
But what frustrates me is everyone starts talking and they start talking about players. I'm like, did they pick up that player?
Yes.
Oh no one said anything.
That's when I got mad at Jeff, my neighbor Jeff. I was like, don't say names, because then people go, oh, they got drafted, and they start crossing them off the list, and they didn't.
Right.
Well, you're kind of multitasking too when you're
it's a lot to
doing
keep
the
track
draft.
of.
Well, in addition, you're talking on the phone with Linda, who's from Dream Crushers,
right?
And she's become a worthy opponent. I remember when she was kind of like,
she's up to a game.
Thank you for your donation, kind of,
right.
That. But she stepped up. I mean, last year she performed pretty well, and this year, I mean, I didn't see what the grade was, but you know what? She held her own to the point where people were fucking up, and you were like, dude, she was saying, dude.
She totally was,
and she's like, she's
hilarious.
remote, and she's saying, dude.
It was awesome.
Get your shit together.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun having her on the phone.
Well, I'll tell you what, this next year, I'm never going to do it again. I'm never going to wait for the last moment to get my my magazines and my cheat list, because my cheat sheet. The cheat sheet is
I waited way too long.
That's just it. I need the cheat sheet. I have to go down that roster, and I need to refresh my IR and PUP list, because
where did you get your information? You said you went to a website to get your spreadsheet.
That's a secret.
Oh, you're not going to share?
What's going on over there?
No, it was. I sat up here Saturday morning and just started going through a bunch of websites, and I stumbled upon this spreadsheet. Basically, what it was, I downloaded it, opened it up, and I was like, "All right, I'm going to use this." Had a tab for each position.
Damn.
Had a shit ton of.
But you're not telling us.
I don't remember where it was.
Oh.
I think I stumbled on. I didn't bookmark or anything like that. I should have. But
well, the papers you printed, did it have a title on there or something?
Well, those I usually find every year. The spreadsheet was new, and that really helped me out, because I'd have multiple sheets. I'm finding. Sometimes it drafts fast. You're like, all right, I need to find this person and cross them off. That takes away from me doing my little last-minute research.
Yes.
Right? As
100%.
I'm trying to scratch shit off, writing stuff down.
I need a new system.
What's
Whereas-
frustrating is that I did a draft a couple years ago through ESPN. And ESPN, and I don't know if Yahoo has the same setup. I think they do.
They do.
Why aren't we doing that?
Because it's fun to do it offline. We're all in person.
So we could do this sitting in our house.
Oh, 100%.
What, the podcast?
No, the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you mean remotely?
Yeah.
I just did the draft.
Oh, yeah. If we did it like that on the laptop,
Right.
yeah, we totally do a remote. None of us need to be there.
And the draft lasts like an hour.
Yeah, it's way faster.
Super fast. Oh, yeah. My draft for the other league, I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and I was watching my phone, and it said, "Oh, you're up," and I was like,
You just click it, it chooses
click,
it,
and
and
on
you're
it
done.
goes, and then it
Yeah.
adds it to the team.
Right.
It's very cool. I mean, it's very easy.
It was easy. Plus, it gives
you
you suggestions. It says, "Hey, man, these are the top ranked." Oh, by the way, you don't have a quarterback yet.
Right.
It is cool, but I love the way we do our draft. I do love it. I love it that it's in person. I love that it's...
Well, I think it's important to do it in person too, and I enjoyed that as well. But at the same time, I think that'd be kind of cool for us to
Just
have
do it online.
automated. Because look, it stresses Barry out.
We could do that. I don't see why not. We could all be in person and just draft in person.
Sit around the house.
Yeah.
You don't have to all be in the same room.
No, I'd want to be in the same room because that's part of the fun of the whole thing. I don't know. We could sell that, but anyway, we'll see. That's a good idea.
I think he'll get pushback. Although I don't know. I'm the newbie to this.
Well,
whole
I
thing.
brought it up to Barry, and he shut it down.
Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely. You hear me say it, right?
Yeah, probably.
Well, he's the
Yeah.
commish. He runs this thing, right?
Well, I mean, it gives him the air of authority, when he's able to type in the. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, I got an error.
No, trust me.
I just loaded everything into Sean.
No, trust me. He would totally be on board with. He doesn't want to be the commissioner. He's told me, "Hey, man, can you be the commissioner?" Because he doesn't want to deal with that shit during the draft. He does not want to deal with it.
Well, it seems to me like it would be better to do it that way. I mean, does he think that it might? I mean, because look, we're at a point in this league where, yeah, it's great that information's there, but we're already doing good,
Right.
And it's kind of selfish because he has that information available right there. He's looking at the Yahoo as he's loading it in.
Right.
So that information is right there for him. So if anything, I think he's cheating. Barry, you
Well,
hear that?
Technically, we all have access to that in Yahoo.
But not real time like he's because he's loading them in as he goes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know what he sees though. I mean, when it's his turn, does it tell him what the next 5 best players are? I don't think he sees that.
I don't know. I mean,
That's what I mean.
It does when you normally do it.
I know, but
it does. Yeah.
I know it does on a normal one, but the way he's doing it, does he get that?
I mean, I'm essentially doing that anyway, but I have to do it manually. I have to find them on the sheet, cross them off, and then I know who the next, according to my list, I know who the next available player is.
Well, bring it up as a possible change and take a vote.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't care.
I think I think you're right. It's
it'll
probably
be
time
less
to
stress
modernize.
on him, but okay. It does make it nicer, but it does take longer. This fucking draft was 3 hours. I mean, look, I like hanging out with you guys, but if we get a draft done in an hour and a half, an hour,
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, that's huge. It gives us time to have a really good time.
Right.
Kind of tear it up at the end.
Do
Yeah.
shots.
That's your equivalent to tear it up. I was thinking like eat steak and dance around
Chicken wings.
with
Dance around
the
naked.
pool.
Like doing like river
Is that where
dance?
you were going?
No,
You kind of paused there.
Well, you went all broke back. What the hell, man?
I don't know. I think that's where you were going. Anyway, it's fine. I'm looking forward to the league. I got 3 teams. I've never had 3 teams before, but whatever.
Yeah, I've done
3
3.
teams.
I did 2 leagues.
Trust me, I didn't want to do 2 of the 3.
I did
Just
2
say no.
leagues, and I didn't enjoy that. I don't have it. I don't want to say I have enough time because everyone has enough time. You just got to make time. But I don't want the stress of having 2 teams. I enjoy doing 1,
I hear you.
and that's it. You know, and I don't need the hoorah from.
I tell you what, it makes watching games on Sunday a little a little difficult when you have three teams. You're like, wait, does that help me?
Both your quarterbacks are going against each other.
Yeah, right. and there's like somebody just scored. Okay, I think I have that person. Is that on which team? Oh, he's on the bench on this team, and then starting on the other team. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I would imagine it's going to suck. But we'll see. It'll be fun. I'm excited that NFL's back. I think are we past the drama?
We're still boycotting.
What are we?
No, I know we're not boycotting, but are we past the drama of all that?
I think we are.
I forgot.
I think the league has moved past it. We're talking about the kneeling. We're talking about the stupid stuff on the jerseys.
Well, there was in the end zone last year, so we'll see
end.
this year.
No.
I think it's done.
It's quieted down tremendously.
Well, I think they've learned their lesson that Black Lives Matter. There's no place in the institution of NFL for it. Period.
Well, I think they're still on board with it. I think
it turned out that whole thing turned out to be a sham.
Yeah, they're not on board with that, and the whole thing is a sham. Look, the spirit of what they were trying to push, I get, but look, there's no racism in cops kneeling on George Floyd's neck. There's no proof that he did that because he was a racist. He did that because he was acting like a fucking fool. He could have been white.
Yeah, but I'm going to totally disagree that the NFL is not on board with Black Lives Matter. I mean, you're going to see commercials that still talk about contributing to that.
Maybe they are.
I think the players' union insisted that they.
If I see it I'm going to mentally have some pushback, and it's going to turn me off. You know, I don't want to see it. You know, all lives matter. Okay, and there's no reason to bring up Black Lives Matter because it's irrelevant. All lives matter. You know, if you act like a fool and the cops pick on you, you know what? I've seen lots of white boys get fucked up from cops.
Right.
All right? If you're a bad apple, then you're a bad apple. It doesn't matter what color you are.
Right. No,
people are going to give you a lesson. And sometimes, you know, and I kind of feel like some of the cops from the past, there's a lot of people that abuse. There's some bad apple cops out there.
Of course.
So I get that. But some of these cops out there, they're playing neighborhood dad. You know, where they gotta take the long arm of the law and smack you around a little bit for some of these people to learn, because sometimes it takes a good smack for some of these dumb motherfuckers to learn. You got these kids right now, not just kids, but you got these people right now, like in Los Angeles, California, are going into these CVS stores, just going in and walking in, taking what they want, and walking right back out.
Have you seen the big mob thievery?
Yeah.
When they walk in there with like 30 people and just completely ransack the place. What do you do if you're an employee there? I just like...
you stand
I'd
aside.
leave. I would leave. I'm like, I don't want to be in here and get hurt.
Right, and the argument is,
I'd be taking my tag off.
Yeah, the argument is, all this stuff is insured, and you know it only hurts the corporation. It doesn't hurt anybody. You know,
no, all that cost trickles back down, homie.
Oh, well, they're closing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
it trickles back down because those insurance companies are like, well, this store here is high risk. Your insurance just quadrupled.
Right. I mean, they're just so ignorant, and so now like 6 CVSs have closed in like the San Francisco area or something.
Well, that's
crazy.
a high inconvenience for a lot of people, especially for like the elderly that live there and walk and get their prescriptions and shit.
Right.
You know, they're like
Amazon.
There's nowhere. Well, I'm more interested in the Mark Cuban pharmacy.
What's this?
He created his own pharmacy to beat the big pharma as far as costs go.
Really?
That whole yes. And it's on. I don't know what it's called.
I'm not a fan of Mark Cuban, but I'm interested.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm not a fan of his politics, but he does have some good ideas.
Is that it? Right? Yeah. Cost plus.
He's trying to do. He's trying to do a good thing, and this is a good thing, and he's got a shoe in. It's kind of like, what is the guy's name that from My Pillow?
Yeah.
So My Pillows, he's trying to do his own Amazon thing. You know, he's got My Pillow, My Slippers, My Coffee. He's got My Coffee. He's gonna start coming up there with My Sheets, My Towels,
My Slippers,
My Condoms.
Yeah. So I need to go out there and look at this for like Brandon's insulin. Does it make more sense to go through this guy?
So they're opening in 2022. State-of-the-art Texas manufacturing site will manufacture products. Nice.
Yeah.
I like this, actually. I love the fact that it's Texas. That works. That works for me.
So where is he procuring the drugs from?
I don't know that.
China.
Well, he has to.
Well, it looks
No,
like
the manufacturing's in Texas.
looks like he's going to start manufacturing his own here.
When you say manufacture, does that mean that you're actually producing the pills?
Yes.
So where do they get the chemicals?
Well,
They buy them.
raw materials.
Raw materials from...
Big Pharma. No, I'm kidding. Well, I mean, wherever. I don't know.
Well, it's all from China. I mean, that's
they
just
have
it.
chemists. They have chemists and shit, and they make basically like Breaking Bad. They have their own little meth lab.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
A big meth lab.
Like, I'm 100%. I'm just like Paul. I don't necessarily agree with Cubans' political views, but I do. Hey, look, it's about what you do. And this is good. Anytime you can bring down medicine, because the medicines in the United States, the pharmaceuticals, fuck them.
Oh, Big Pharma has a
pieces of shit in
dude.
the whole medical field itself. It's just a goddamn joke.
Just like the vaccine, man. I mean, it's a stranglehold.
We need to take down systematically every single big infrastructure like this. I mean, from the school systems, the colleges that are charging way too much money so that they can support a $200 million annual college football program, which is bullshit. In my opinion, I think they should have, you want a football program, just send them to football school and have football schools set up, or that's all they do. And then
some of the most expensive universities don't even have football.
Good. That's the whole point. Well, it's not the whole point, but my point is that these colleges are just charging way too much.
They are.
They are.
Period.
They're outstripping inflation by a lot.
By a lot.
And then you have Trump coming in, or dipshit Biden coming in here and forgiving all the debt. It grinds my gears on this. And
I think they underestimated how angry this country is about this bailout.
I mean,
it's just student loan bailout.
Why would you do that? I mean, it's just
you're trying to buy votes. That's all you're trying to do.
But look, man, they're just not. These are smart people, So you would think that they would understand that. Some people didn't have the ability to go to school. Some people had to jump in the workforce right away.
Well, I think a lot of them don't think beyond their own experience.
No, they don't.
They are in this Washington political bubble.
Especially this young generation.
Yeah, they're in this woke Washington, D.C. political bubble, and they see, wow, all my friends, my little gaggle of friends, could really utilize, and the people I hang out with are all the college-educated white elite people.
Right.
Right? And they're all bitching and moaning about, I can't pay back my loan.
Right. Or how much student loans
So they must think, well, that applies to everybody. So if we do this, it's going to be a great thing. Well, no, it's not.
No.
It's
or
not.
The whole thing could be calculated. Biden could be like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer the kids some free stuff. It's going to get shot down. I know it's going to get shot down, but I'm going to say it, and I'm going to offer it.
Well, he's been wanting to do this.
And I'm going to blame this on Trump.
Well, he's been wanting to do this since he was vice president with Obama, and Obama shot it down, saying it's not a good idea.
It's a horrible idea.
Then.
Yeah, it's a horrible idea.
But now that he's president, he's like, I'm the man in charge now, so I'm going to do it now.
Isn't it a little terrifying that a president can just go, I'm going to forgive $500 billion in debt?
I heard it's up to $1 trillion.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what they said on the 5 yesterday.
I mean, how
that the expected cost is going to be
$1
trillion.
There's no way the president of the United States has that power. There's no way he's got that power. I mean, and yet he just executive
Congress
we
holds
have got
the
to rein in the executive order bullshit. I don't care who the president is.
It is. It's ridiculous.
It is completely ridiculous.
And the stupid thing is, as soon as the next Republican gets it, he's going to undo everything.
He's going to undo it. Like the stupid Keystone Pipeline.
Yeah, let's put it back in play.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Then it's going to be, all right, we have 4 years. Let's bust the shit out and get it done.
You got to get it done. Get it done.
Or they're going
to, or like the wall, they're just going to leave it hanging with gaps in it.
It'll get completed in 4 years.
Right.
Or whenever the next Republican gets in there. It'll get passed then.
It's childish.
But until then,
it literally is childish. The fact that he just overturned everything that Trump did in terms of executive orders was childish.
It was just a big middle finger to Trump. It was.
It was childish.
It wasn't maybe this is, he put some good things into practice by doing this. I'm just going to give my middle finger to him.
Everything he did, I'm reversing.
Correct.
It doesn't matter if it was good or bad.
That's what he did.
I know. It's exactly what he did.
It's childish.
I agree. It's pathetic.
And he's fucking 80 years old.
Right.
Still doing it.
Oh,
but again, I think his
amazing.
administration is run by a bunch of young,
bunch of fools.
young,
idealistic.
Yeah, they don't have a concept of
real world
and how the United States works.
I agree. And when they're like claiming, oh, we're just going to do this to fossil fuels and that to gas and this to natural gas and that to gasoline refineries, they don't know how the world works.
No.
They have no concept that, like AOC, like when she's, they cannot possibly comprehend how many cars run on oil and gas.
It's just not cars.
Everything.
What about all the semis? What about all the farm
whole
equipment?
trucking industry? Yes. Airplanes.
Yeah, all those vehicles that support.
Are we gonna have electric airplanes now?
That's what I mean. How are they going to do that?
I mean, it's.
They can use rubber bands.
All the and wind it.
Yeah, good idea.
That's what I was thinking.
Industrial rubber bands. How many of the propellers do you have to have? Like, let's see,
there's
800.
800. They all have to be wound at the same time.
At the same time, that's a lot. Well, that'll employ a lot of people.
Well, that's what I hear. Well, we need to have no gas cars. I'm like, okay, that's part of the equation.
Elon Musk,
gradual equation, gradual.
Yeah.
But Elon Musk made a statement, or he was just saying it's ridiculous that the fact that he says we need to start producing more fossil fuels and he's got an electric car. It's just you got the folks like Chevrolet, for example, folks from Chevrolet who hate electric cars are now investing in an electric car business. And then you have the people that are invested in an electric car business like Elon Musk saying, no, we need to stick with fossil fuels.
We need balance right now. We cannot have too much of one or the other.
Balance is a good word, but it's not equal balance though, because lithium mining is really dirty.
Bad for the environment, and we don't have much lithium, by the way.
It's far worse.
It's hard to
there's a very fine
of the batteries.
Amount of it.
The batteries don't last that long. They're harder to dispose of them. The precious metals or the rare metals that go into them are hard to find, hard to mine, and come from enemies of our country.
Right. It's
just bad news all around.
I saw an article today where a guy had a 2012 Chevy Volt, and his battery ran out because they have a lifespan.
Right.
So he went to the dealership and said, what's going on? Oh, your battery has expired. You need a new one.
Right. Perfect.
It will be $26,000.
Are you kidding?
Plus all these fees. It'll be $30,000 to get you a new battery.
$30,000.
$30,000 for this battery, for this Chevy Volt.
Which he spent how much for?
He said the car is now worth like $7,000 to $12,000.
Okay. So is that what's going to happen with all these Teslas?
You can buy a new Chevy Bolt for about the same price, I think.
Bolt, as in B?
That's what replaced the Volt. Yes.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the Chevy Volt is no longer there. It's the Chevy new model came out. They call it the Chevy Bolt.
That is crazy.
But it's still all electric.
Yeah. It's an electric car.
Right. And
$30,000.
Is the same thing going to happen to all the Teslas 15 years from now? Is it the exact same thing?
Yes. 100%. There was another story where there's an Australian family, I think I said this before, that they bought a Prius for their daughter.
Right.
And the batteries died on it, like 6 months into getting it.
Oh.
It was used, right? And it was going to cost them $15,000 to replace the batteries.
They don't
on a car they spent $4,000 on.
Yeah, they don't tell you that, do they?
No. That's incredible. And the Teslas are going to be the exact same way. There's no way I would buy like those first
generation
Teslas are dead at this point.
I mean, the thing is,
or soon to be.
Electric is the future. We get it. No. It is, but we're not there yet.
No,
we're not there yet. They got a baby
we
step.
We still need to cultivate the hydrolysis. I mean, I saw another video on it today, man.
You and your hydrolysis.
This guy converted a freaking generator, and it works. I mean, the video, it never took the video off.
There has to be a reason why they haven't moved past this.
All right, well,
it's not scalable.
Whoa.
You want me to go?
Yeah, dudes like us. It's August 30th. Shout out to the producer. Thank you for Dudes Like Us. I'm Dudes Like Us. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
We'll see you guys next week.